Hey guys, so this week I've been playing probably one of the most interesting games I've played in a long time. It's not like a lot of things I've played before, and that game, of course, is Heavy Rain for the PlayStation 3. Now, they don't even, the creators of this game kind of don't even refer to it as a game so much as interactive drama, I think is the term that they're coining for this game. And it kind of fits because it doesn't really fit what we would kind of call a game. It's trying to be a movie slash choose your own adventure with, and it kind of turns out to just be a quick time event game. If you like quick time events, this is the game for you. So anyways, here is my opinion of Heavy Rain. Unlike most games that come out this day, Heavy Rain is much more of a passive experience. As the player, you sacrifice a lot of the traditional ways of controlling characters in favor of controlling the story. The story centers around 4 main characters, and while you don't have direct control over where these characters go, you have control over what they do once they get there. The choices you make as these characters propel the story in certain directions that you may not have seen if you chose a different path. The way the game gives you this power is through QuickTime events. At certain points in the story, you might be given a short amount of time to make a decision about what to do, or you might have to press certain buttons as they pop up on the screen if you want to complete a task. All of this is to give you more direct control over how the story plays out. A few missed buttons in the early game might affect the rest of the storyline. It adds a lot of tension to the game because you feel like if you miss these buttons, this character might die here and not see the rest of the storyline, which is a possibility. And tension is what this story is going for.
Are you prepared to suffer to save your son? You have 5 minutes to cut off the last section of one of your fingers in front of the camera.
The game really wants you to think about how far are you really willing to go to get to the end of the game. QuickTime events control everything basically in this game, from the big old fight scenes down to watching Jaden play the piano. Although helping him play the piano makes me wish playing the piano was that easy. Unfortunately, the story does have its plot holes. There are a lot of plot devices that just kind of get discarded when they become inconvenient, and the ending feels unsatisfying, at least to me. The voice acting is hit or miss in a lot of places, and the characters feel very one-dimensional at times, and at other times it feels like I'm forcing them to do things that that character wouldn't have done had I not forced him to do it. I really do hate griping on the voice acting story in video games, but really that's what this game is all about, is its story. All the really cool gameplay elements just really get hampered by this story that seems to have just been thrown away and tweaked to fit into this game.
3 miles to go before you reach your destination.
Overall, I have to say, it's not a bad game. It's certainly a really fun game that has a lot of really great and interesting little things that I haven't seen anyone do before.
Much to go on.
I just wish it were better. So there you have it. Heavy Rain is good. I don't want to say it's bad because it's not a bad game. I'm frustrated with it as someone who likes to think of himself as a writer, even though I'm a terrible writer. I like to pretend like I know what I'm doing when it comes to writing a story. I'm frustrated with how this story goes. It just feels like all those parts that tried to be a movie were holding this game back from being a really fantastic game. It's an interesting experiment, certainly. I just think that screw it. There's smarter people out there who've said things that, in much more eloquent and better ways than I could ever say it. I'd suggest you reading Anthony Bircher or Jim Sterling from Destructoid. They put some really great articles about Heavy Rain out. But it's not a bad game. It's certainly well worth trying and playing through a few times to sort of get things. And, there's a lot of joy in it. And it's an interesting step into a new direction for video games. I don't know if it's the way all video games should. I mean, certainly the story is. Oh god, it's so frustrating, and the ending just pissed me the hell off. I don't want to spoil it, but Kevin Spacey was Kaiser Sose the entire time. So, I mean, I'd suggest... I mean, if you have a PlayStation 3, maybe rent it. You probably already know if you want this game, but I totally suggest you go out and rent it, because it's fascinating. It's certainly not like anything you've played in a while. It's, you know, it's decent. It's a lot of fun. While it lasts, you can get a lot of enjoyment. I just wish it were better.